Hi,
Hi!
welcome to Opening the Vault.
Following Mickey's footsteps, where we watch every Disney animated feature in chronological order.
This week, we're watching the second Disney animated feature, released in 1940, Pinocchio. While Snow White was a box office success over time, Pinocchio followed suit and did not do so well initially. That was mainly because of World War II raging across Europe and Asia. After the war was over in 1945, Pinocchio got subsequent releases and made up a lot of money, becoming one of the highest grossing animated features ever.
Pinocchio is based on the children's novel The Adventures of Pinocchio, which was written by Carlo Collodi, and it was published in 1883. It is also lauded as being one of, if not the finest animated feature that Disney produced. Let's watch it!
Yeah.
Which one of this grand new group of characters will be your favorite? Will it be mischievous little Pinocchio himself? Will it be Geppetto? Or will it be roly-poly Figaro?
Woo-hoo! And always let your conscience be your guide.
Well,
He's a real boy now.
he's a real boy now. The feels.
Yes. When Jiminy Cricket sings When You Wish Upon a Star at the very end, I got a little teary-eyed.
This movie's good.
It is. Pinocchio still holds up. Something I did notice about the animation of the Blue Fairy, she basically just looks like a blonde Snow White. They definitely did have the same face shape and the same lips and nose. She was just blonde instead of black hair like Snow White.
Mm-hmm. Pinocchio, while he does have his puppet animations, which are very excellent, spinning and the way the joints move, he also moves like a small child.
He does.
Figaro moves like a kitten.
Yes.
When animating this, they originally had Pinocchio be much more puppet-like and wooden, and Walt really didn't like it. And then one of the other animators came up with the idea of making him more boy-like, except for his nose and his joints, and they came up with what we know today as Pinocchio.
Other changes Walt made for the film. In the book, The Adventures of Pinocchio, the character of Pinocchio is actually very cruel and a very cold and unfeeling character, and very wooden, literally and emotionally. That is obviously not something Disney wanted to convey, so they made him much more innocent and naive and very childlike, and that, I think, is why he's such an enduring character. It's why we still love him, is because he represents innocence and childhood.
Right off the bat, hilariously, Geppetto is terrified.
This sudden talking puppet
Which is
that
good.
he's created.
Geppetto has a gun.
I forgot Geppetto has a gun.
Pinocchio's like, here I am, and like tugs on his pajamas. Geppetto fires the gun, it blows a hole in a shelf, almost takes out Jiminy.
Jiminy avoids death many times in this movie.
Pinocchio's naivete and innocence is immediately kind of there when they're celebrating, and he sees pretty fire. He lights his finger on fire.
I remember.
Ooh, pretty. And Geppetto's like, oh no, we can't do this. So right off the bat, you know that Pinocchio is
purely innocent.
Pure innocence and doesn't know anything. And while that's amazing and lovely, he does have to learn and grow.
Yes. And actually, the innocence and naivete that they gave to Pinocchio was a problem because originally, in the original story, Jiminy Cricket was just a cricket that Pinocchio actually was supposed to smash with a mallet, and then later Jiminy was going to return as a ghost, which is creepy because of Pinocchio's innocence, and he just doesn't know anything. He gets taken advantage of by Honest John and Gideon and other baddies. So instead of killing Jiminy, they made Jiminy essentially the narrator and the conscience for Pinocchio, the guide.
As the animator said, he doesn't really look like a cricket. We only know he's a cricket because we call him a cricket.
Fun fact about Gideon, sidekick of Honest John the Fox, was originally supposed to have lots of dialogue voiced by Mel Blanc. They decided instead at the last minute that they didn't want Gideon to talk and he was going to be a mute, sort of like Harpo Marx. But he does make 3 sounds during the movie, and they are all hiccups, and they are all voiced by Mel Blanc. Stromboli is the only character in Pinocchio who is considered a Disney villain.
He throws Pinocchio into a birdcage and then says, if you don't do what we're going to do, I'm going to turn you into firewood. And they show
a chopped up puppet in the firewood box.
Like an axe in its back, and it's scary.
And it looks like what Pinocchio probably originally supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like very wooden, but it had the black hair and the little nose like Pinocchio. It was really creepy. Another fun fact, there is a scene where Gideon is trying to squish Jiminy Cricket with a mallet. I think this is a direct callback to the original idea that Jiminy Cricket was just supposed to be squished by a mallet by Pinocchio.
They don't pull the punches for scariness, because that's scary.
The donkey scene,
Donkey
where the
scene
kids
in
are
Pleasure
turning
Island.
into donkeys. It's so scary.
Basically, the coachman is engaging in human trafficking. He abducts these boys. Over time, they get turned into donkeys, which are then sold to the salt mines. They have the coachman being like, "What's your name? Haha, you can't talk, you're a donkey." But then the next one, "What's your name?"
Alexander.
It's terrifying, and just screams how he wants his mommy.
It's awful.
And then there's Monstro, who's incredibly scary.
Oh, yeah. I remember as a kid being afraid of Monstro vividly.
There's a whole lot to this movie, and one thing I really like about it, this has pacing and this has structure, and there's multiple scenes and adventures that Pinocchio goes through, so there's actually character development for Pinocchio and Jiminy.
Mm-hmm.
First scene, Pinocchio is just innocent, is going to go off to school, he's led off by Honest John, he's trapped in the birdcage, and the Blue Fairy intervenes and saves them. And she says, "I can't help you again." The second time, Pinocchio goes off with Honest John again, but a little more reluctantly this time, and he's given to the coachman. So he does the Pleasure Island thing, but he and Jiminy get out of that themselves. And then the third problem, both Pinocchio and Jiminy, they go to the action, they have agency to save Geppetto, and they get out of it themselves. So you have this great structure of complete innocent in, innocent out, a little more innocent in, but they've got themselves out of it. And then the third time, they got in it themselves, and they got out of it themselves, and with confidence and growth, and it's really, really fantastic.
I would happily watch this again if any little kid or adult was like, "Hey, we're going to watch Pinocchio." I would be like, "Awesome, I'm on board. Let's go watch it." Because it just really is, it's charming, it's fun, it's a classic, it doesn't get old, it's enjoyable. So stay tuned here for next week. We're going to watch Fantasia.
Woohoo!
So as they say in the Disney parks,
Have a magical day.